So, welcome everyone to this podcast brought to you by the Purple Parade. And we're here to talk about inclusivity. And we're very privileged to have two guests here to talk to us today. There's Josh and Pin Xiu. And maybe the best way for us to start is for either Josh or Pin Xiu to introduce yourselves. Pin Xiu, you want to go first?
Okay. Hi, I'm Pin Xiu. I'm a seven-time Paralympic gold medalist, and my I also have a condition called Charcot-Marie tooth, which is a neurological condition that causes my muscles to deteriorate over time.
Okay. And Josh?
Hi, my name is Josh. I'm a professional photographer and a community leader. And I'm born with achondroplasia, commonly known as autism.
Okay. We're here today to talk about inclusivity, right? But one of the big things I did want to ask you is like, what are you guys busy with now? What is keeping you busy on a day-to-day basis at this moment? Pin Xiu, you want to just start first?
Yes. How much time do we have? No. So I pretty much train full time. I came back from Paris 2 months ago after the Paralympics. I took a 2 month break, and this week I'm back in training again.
Okay.
But besides training, I think a lot of people think being an athlete is just like 2 hours in a pool.
Yeah.
But it's actually a lot outside also. There's a lot of sports science meetings you need to have, really all of this to help improve the performance. And on the sidelines, I do quite a bit of speaking. I have a swim school. I and pretty involved in like maybe the inclusion space, and also sit on a couple of boards here and there, just
see.
to really help give back to the community.
Well, couple of boards here and there.
Couple.
There's a lot with most people already. All right, and Josh yourself, what keeps you busy these days?
Wow, I wish I could be as busy as Pin Xiu.
No, I wish for
Yeah.
that.
And also as capable as her. I think I am I lead a community of about 25 kids and 20 adults. And on a day-to-day basis, as a professional photographer, I do quite a bit of events, family portraits in particular, and also half the time also I spend my time in church, volunteering and also overseeing certain team in the church. Yeah.
So there's a very common thread I'm seeing here in that there is a job, right, that you do, but also a lot of things that you do outside of your job, right? Do you find that that is part of the balance that you're trying to find in your life in terms of work-life balance, and you're trying to find something meaningful to do alongside what you do as your work? Is that something very deliberate you have set out to find for yourselves? Pin Xiu?
I guess for myself, it's not so much the work-life balance. I think everything that I've said also is all pretty much more work than life. But for me personally, I guess it's not something I seek to just want to do it.
Yeah.
I do it because I have the platform, I have the voice. After being in this, being a national athlete for almost 20 years, being in the media, I am given this privilege to have a platform to be able to speak to a lot of other people, speak for a lot of other people who don't have this voice. So I would like to fully utilize it. And I think I've also just been given this opportunity, and I just want to be able to use it to the best of my abilities to help what I can. Yeah, but life is on very, very far on the other side, where I just hang out with my friends,
Yeah.
do things that normal everyday people do. Yeah.
So it's kind of like with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And with
Yes,
gold medals
Spider-Man.
also, it comes with a lot of responsibilities as well. But I do want to ask you later a bit about your friends.
Yeah.
But Josh, how about you? Have you found that it's something deliberately you're trying to find for yourself, a kind of balance between your work and the things you do outside of work?
I think I find fulfilling in terms of being able to give back to the community. I think many of us tend to just juggle between work and home, but yet there are so many things out there that can be done more than just meeting your friends or going back home with your loved ones and then going to work. So I find fulfillment in terms of being able to give back to the community. In terms of also, I do a bit of same stuff as Pin Xiu, giving talks to schools. I find fulfillment in that because I think kids, in general, people would need to be more aware about the inclusion space that we have in Singapore. And also, I am thankful that Purple Parade is a such platform that we are able to go to schools to raise this awareness, and also to kind of give a broader perspective of how each person with a disability works, functions. We are, even though we may be the same, but we actually work differently.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so, just touching on that, you go to school and you speak to a lot of young people about various issues, right? Do you find that a lot of young people have they have difficulty finding a passion in their lives? Like you have, you found your calling, your passion. Do you get a lot of questions of these type of things about finding the passion or finding the purpose in life?
I think in the recent years, as I step up as a community leader, I get a few I won't call it cases, but rather instances where people will come to me and say that can I go and talk to a person who has no motivation to work, because firstly he's not academically well, and he wants me to like go in and kind of give some encouragement to these people, and they are just able-bodied, and they want us to go in to say that even people like us, if we can do so well, there is no excuse why you can't do it. Yeah.
I see.
So it is a lot of the mental capacity. It takes up a lot of our time and energy in order to and also to be careful of how we speak also. If, through our challenges, through our experiences, I think we are at a better position to talk to talk to them, because they will take a step back and they will ask themselves what are they doing in their lives,
Got it. Got it.
when we are the ones that when we can do so much.
And Pin Xiu, you also have the experience of talking to people, young people, and also even adults in corporations and everything. What do you find from your experience about passion that is the most relatable when you speak to them?
About passion, I think a lot of people when I speak to them, a lot of them sometimes feel like they're just coasting through day to day life. You know, you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you come back, you watch TV, you scroll TikTok for a couple of hours, and
Yeah.
then next day starts again. So some people enjoy that life, but some people need a bit more of purpose and fulfillment in life. So I think it's also encouraging somebody to find that, I think very often people kind of know what they want, but they don't know how to get it.
Sure.
They just sit and then they don't really take the actions to get to their goals. So I hope these people eventually find a life which they enjoy.
Got it. And just touching on that, like, when was that moment for you when you found like, okay, this is my calling, my passion?
I think honestly, I was really lucky. It was pretty early for me. I started swimming competitively when I was 12 years old. So when I started, I didn't think that I would one day go to the Paralympics or think that this would be such a long-term thing, It was only when I was about 14 years old, I had a coach come up to me. She printed out the rankings and she sat down with me in the gym. She was like, hey, look, if you do this, if you focus, do it really well, who knows one day where you might get. And I think that was the moment for me which I decided that, yeah, my studies are important, but also the Paralympics only comes once every 4 years. Why not try to make something out of it?
I see.
And yeah, that was like my light bulb moment.
Got it.
Yeah.
And Josh, how about you in terms of photography and having that light bulb moment of realizing like that's something that you're very passionate about?
I think capturing people through the lens has been something very fulfilling, in terms of being able to capture memories that cannot be rewind. And also it brings smile to people. It is a way also, I use it as a communication tool to approach people that I need. Also to get to speak to a diverse group of people.
Got it.
Yeah, so photography has been a very great tool to be able to reach out to people.
And it was a light bulb moment for you as well, where you realized, okay, this is for me.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Very, very, pun intended moment.
the
Light
aha
bulb, flash
moment.
photography.
Yeah.
But I mean, something interesting Pin Xiu was saying, that there was someone who sort of spurred you to go down that path, right? How important was it for you that there was someone who gave you encouragement and pushed you, challenged you to go and pursue your passion?
Really so important. I feel like at every point in my life when I've had to make a very important decision, it's always maybe because I spoke to a mentor about it, or a role model, and I truly believe ever since I was pretty young that we've always nobody has to stick to one role model or only have one mentor. You can have many different people you learn from at different points in your life, and that is very valuable. So when I was younger, it was Teresa Go, my teammate. Then eventually my coach, Ang Peng Siong, Mak Chee, Mick Messi, but all of these people really have guided me in my life, and I'm just so fortunate to be able to have that. And if not for like my first coach that did that for me, I probably wouldn't have put 100% into what I was doing, or even I probably wouldn't know how to do that. So I think it's really important that you surround yourself with a strong network of people.
I see, I see. And the awesome thing is that you guys are both role models for others to follow now, right? So let's say a young person comes to you, a youngish person comes to you and asks, I am not able to find something I'm passionate about in my life. Like, what's something I can do now to help me, find that purpose in my life? What's something that you would tell them, Josh?
I think I would get them to find, and in terms of what was something that made you smile, make you laughed, and also that is able to kind of you find there is an achievement in that, and but I wouldn't say to pursue that mentor, pursue that passion, but rather take time to explore if there's the thing that kind of for example tattoo drawing. If you have the passion in drawing tattoos, I would say I would encourage them to say you can try. Once you have better drawings, then we will see how we are able to kind of navigate through your experiences through drawing, so that we can help you from there lah.
I see. So it's starting with small steps,
Small
everyday steps
steps,
you can
yeah.
take. Okay. And Pin Xiu, like, what would you tell a young person?
I think you need a certain level of maturity before you can find what you truly like. Because if you ask somebody really young what they like, most of the time the answer would be, playing games and being on the computer, watching TV, which sure could eventually end up as passions as well. But most of the time we answer that because at that point in time, that's what we like for fun. And you don't really know what you want to do in life yet, right? So I think it's also similar to George. You need to take time. Only when you found something that you really like, that you have a passion for. Because I truly believe that in order to do anything well, you gotta like it first. It could be anything. I'm sure, playing games, you could be an e-gamer, you could be a streamer eventually. But again, how many people will eventually do that?
Yeah.
So it does take a certain maturity to know what is available out there and what you like, but really just go and expose yourself to many things first.
I see. So in some ways, you're also saying that you were very mature at 12 years old yourself.
No. I don't think I was very mature at 12. So initially, trainings and everything, my parents sent me there. They made me go. On days where I didn't want to, I had to because my dad would send me to training. But I think what made me realize that I like it was that I was a very competitive person. So sometimes it's not the things you do, but it's what's within you also. And this swimming thing helped to stoke my competitive nature. It made me feel the adrenaline rush. It made me feel the things that that I like to feel while racing. So I think in that sense, that also helped me to realize this was what I was passionate about. Yeah. So
I see.
maybe like my tip would be to see what kind of person you are and then pick something that matches your personality.
Got it,
Right.
got it. I think that's very, very useful tips for anyone listening. And so, I mean, one common thing I realized when talking to the two of you is that, both of you are super busy all the time. And if there's a definition of hustling, right? It seems like you guys are always hustling that way. But what do you feel about the word hustle and the culture around, like, young people hustling and all? Maybe Josh, you want to talk about that a bit?
I think the word hustling is something can describe as a Singaporean. Because we are always rushing.
Yeah.
But I'm the kind that I don't like to rush things.
Okay.
But yet I have 1,001 things to be completed. People are waiting for deadlines and
Yeah.
stuff. So it kind of also trained me as a person to be more, instead of being, to be more productive in the things that I do rather than just ticking off deadlines and stuff. Yeah.
And how do you stay on top of all these different things you have to do? Like, what's your secret to being productive?
I think it's having to be a community leader. So it gives me a platform where I have to reject some of the opportunities given. Whether is it whether it will benefit me in one way or another, rather than just saying yes, I can do it. And so and a lot of times is whether, I think in Singapore, where the cost of living is so high, we tend to, we are always seeking for monetary opportunities.
Yeah.
In this country lah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's an art of being selective about what you say yes to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Pin Xiu, I'm sure you face that dilemma as well. Your day to day as an athlete, it's all about time, right? About clocking the fastest times. But outside of those commitments, like, how do you balance all these different commitments, and how do you choose what to say yes or no to?
I think the word hustling is very, like, yeah, every Singaporean knows it, right? But I feel like it has changed.
Okay.
When I was a bit younger, maybe when I was in my, maybe 10 years ago, hustling was worn as a badge of honor. You hustle very hard, then you want to show people you work so hard, and then it just seems like something that everybody should be doing. But I think now it's moved a little, the needle has moved a bit. I think it's not so much hustling already, but it's really how you prioritize the things you need to do in life, and then you show up for the things you need to do. And then maybe some people call hustling such that you have a couple of jobs, you have a main job and then you
Yeah.
have your side jobs. Yes, to me that's still like hustling, but at least it adds a lot of value to your life. And I think it's not for everybody, but for the people who have the acumen to be entrepreneurs or to hustle hard, then please go ahead, because end of the day you choose what you want to do to make your life the way you want to live it, right? And I truly believe, at this point in my life, I truly believe that it's a lot about prioritizing. It's not about just saying yes to everything, but saying no to some things so that you can show up properly for the things that you say yes to and you value. So yeah, it's prioritizing and being very selective.
And especially for someone in your position, there's a lot of noise around you, but you have to silence the noise right before competition. What is in your mind right before the race starts?
There is this one thing that has been with me for many, many years. When I was 15 years old, I had a session with my psychologist. So I was a very excited kid, I snatched out one of the start list papers. And start list is normally like they show you lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, who are in those lanes. And then you normally see who you're racing with. So of course, as a young kid, I was very excited because I wanted to obviously try to win. I snatched the paper and then she took it from me, and then she was like, at the end of the day, why does it matter who's swimming beside you or who's faster than you? Because you just swim in your own lane, You get a good time, and that's all that matters. Whether win or lose, you cannot control. You just swim a good time, and you might win. So I think that's the one thing that I really carried with me in everything I do in life. So just to control the controllables.
So it's really, I mean, that's literally good advice to give to someone. Like, you're really swimming, always competing against
Competing
yourself.
against yourself. As
and your own
cliche as
standards.
it might sound. Yes.
I see, I see. I mean, and that's the world of high performance sport and all. In art, there's the concept of flow as well. Like for you, like what is going through your mind to get yourself in a state of flow that when you're doing art or doing work in terms of photography, like how do you get to that zone where you're just 100% focused?
I think whenever I'm 100% focused, a lot of people said that I don't smile. I look very
Don't smile.
fierce.
Okay, so we're doing
yeah.
quite well in getting you to smile.
Yeah, so at this point in time, I think we are still doing quite well. Yeah, so when I'm very focused, I think I kind of ignore the world that is around me, and then sometimes may kind of step into people's feet in terms of people think that I'm not approachable, I'm not friendly, but yet when you kind of get to know me more, it kind of change the way you see me, something more, someone that is approachable, someone that you can trust with. I think that is also that's how I also brand myself. I think if you want to get to know me, you first kind of approach me first because as a person with a disability, we tend to be more selective of who we speak to because different people have different kind of mindset of how they approach you. If they think that you are something, they always feel that if you are less capable than them, they will kind of give you a different tonality of how they approach you. So that is how I kind of take a step back and say that if this person is the kind of person that I can talk to, I will continue the conversation.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what kind of values are important to you when, meeting new people or making new friends?
I think the first important value is respect in terms of your actions, not just your tone, but the way you you approach me. And then the first question is that question that kind of whether if this guy is really sincerely interested to find out about you, or he's just having to find someone to make conversation with.
So what's a good first question that people should approach you with to really pique your interest?
I think first question is what have you been up to, instead of the mundane questions that we always tend to go into in terms of how are you. Like your how are you have a different depth to it.
Yeah.
So when you're about to approach, when you're about to answer the question, sometimes people are actually not interested to hear.
I see. It's to come in with a sincerity
Yeah.
to hear what you have to say.
So I'm the kind of person that I do things I like to do things with sincerity rather than you do things for the sake of PR skills.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Okay. And Pin
I
Xiu,
think,
like,
sorry.
I mean the values that
Wait, to
you hold
continue
dear.
on that,
Okay,
right? I
sure.
think one of the worst this is not the worst, but one of the worst questions people can ask immediately is, why you cannot walk? And it's a lot more common than you may think.
Yeah.
Especially from people of the older generation. I think they're very blunt about it.
I see.
Yeah. And I think it's quite funny because sometimes I can think of quite ridiculous answers for them also.
Yeah.
I used to have a friend who was an amputee, and then he, like, maybe kids. So this one is funny one. It's not quite lan. Am I supposed to say quite lan?
It's okay.
But then they were like, why you don't have one leg? Then he said, he plays soccer and then he kick and then his leg fly along. So like small things like that,
They might have traumatized the kid.
Yeah, just like the kid's never gonna play soccer already.
So that's generally you try to navigate situations like that with humor as well.
It depends. If the conversation is very heartfelt and genuine, reaches a point already, then yes, I'm open to sharing. But if the person ask it in a way that it's not very respectful or not very polite, then we can have various different answers. Yeah,
sure.
multiple choice.
So how do you discern if someone is like, coming in with heartfelt manner or not with much sincerity? Or how do you like? What is the red flag kind of for you?
I think to me really is the tone of how you speak to somebody
Got it.
or like even the situation. Most of the time people are really very nice about it.
Okay.
Singaporeans are very nice about it.
Okay. I mean, your profile definitely much higher after all your success, right? So how do you again like coming back to that question of friends, right? How do you choose your friends, or how, in terms of what values are important to you that you say, okay, I want to invest in this relationship?
Friends for me, I think it's just like any other person, Why do you value some of your friends? It's for me really it's really how well you get along
Yeah.
with somebody, how much of a confident they can be and how much you can give back. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's as long as they laugh at my jokes, lah. It's
Is
okay,
it?
right?
Okay, lah, then we can be friends.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. But I mean, like, because you meet a lot more people. Also, like, do you have to sort of be quite selective about how much time you invest in like new relationships and things like that as well?
I think I'm a very like vibe person. So if the
Vibes,
if the person doesn't drain me too much, then we will most likely be pretty good friends.
Okay,
But
okay.
because I'm also very introverted and sometimes I travel a lot for competitions and things like that. So if
Yeah.
the friend is very high maintenance, then I also find it difficult to keep. Right. So it really depends.
Yeah. The friend has to understand your schedule and all that. So what does hanging out with Pin Xiu look like? What is a chill afternoon with Pin Xiu like?
Taking a flight to Korea. No, I'm kidding. Just lunch, I guess.
Korean food
And,
lunch.
Can be, yes. Instead of flying there, we just eat here.
Yeah.
Lunch and spending a couple of hours talking, just catching up with life. And very normal things.
Do you play back videos of yourself competing and then ask your friends to sit down and watch with you or anything like that?
There's something I might subject my friends to if I don't really like them. But I love my friends a lot, so no.
Okay. And Josh, like for you, like what is it? What's quality time that you spend with friends? How do you find time and invest in that relationship with people?
I'm also very similar with Pin Xiu. I think
Yeah.
I'm also a bit of introverted.
Okay.
Not just a bit. About 70% introverted.
Sure.
And I prefer to have, in terms of gatherings, I prefer for one-to-one session rather than a gathering of a big group. Because I find that conversations can be more meaningful and a time that is more appreciated of my time will be more appreciated lah. And if you are just going around just chit-chatting, catching up with life, then half the time you are not in a to me half the time I'm not in the conversations.
Yeah.
And then having to catching up on things like topics about politics, current affairs. Through these gatherings, it's something that drains me off lah.
Okay.
I like things which are more personable.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just on that as well, because you're talking about cost of living in Singapore and, people complaining about things like that. When you hear people complain about, their work or cost of living and how difficult it is in their jobs and all, is that something that you feel like there's a lot you can contribute to the conversation and advise them about their careers and all?
I may not be at the best position to kind of advise.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I try not to get into topics of which are a bit in depth. Yeah, I like to talk things about the current things.
Okay.
Yeah, and
How's
stuff.
the weather?
Yeah,
But Pintu, like I'm sure there are questions of discipline, motivation, how to keep yourself, 100% in your mind at all times, right?
Honestly, my friends don't care that I'm an athlete. My friends don't care that I'm disciplined and motivated. Or at least they don't tell me lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because a lot of my friends are also like athlete friends.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So maybe they also have their own strategies
Sure.
and things like that. But I guess what we talk about is pretty much what you and your friends talk about. What you talk about?
Movies. We talk about food. Talk about what you watch on Netflix recently. Yeah. Is that? I mean, do you have time to watch Netflix?
Not a lot, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, but also, I think there are too many streaming sites nowadays, right? There's
Yeah.
Apple TV, there's Netflix, there's Disney Plus. So
Too much to go around.
to choose something to watch, also, you need to commit a lot of time to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then what do you do to relax? Because you've had like you have a lot of competitions and training.
Yes.
What do you do to relax?
Okay, the most like brain rot thing is like just doom scrolling on TikTok.
Doom scrolling.
Yes,
Okay.
and then like coming across a podcast like this on TikTok, and no, but what do I do to relax? Okay, I also don't like to have too much screen time
Okay.
because I feel like my eyes get pretty tired. Is that an age of? Is that a sign of aging?
I
Maybe,
mean,
maybe.
maybe,
I also
maybe.
having that,
I
that
try
issue.
to. Yeah, I convince myself it's not about
Yeah.
aging lah.
No lah. So I just spend time with really with the people who energize me.
And when you say energize you, you're talking about like other athletes that you're friends with or what?
Possibly. Anybody who energizes me.
Okay, okay. And so, Josh, for you, like, what do you do to relax?
Sleep.
No.
Recharge.
I sleep a lot.
I kind of stay at home, just listen to music. Yeah, and then
Yesterday I had,
less screen time.
Less screen time. Okay,
And then do a bit of street photography.
got it.
Yeah.
Also, a bit adjacent to what you do as a
Yeah.
profession as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I need to share something I'm very proud of.
sure.
Yesterday I had a full day whereby I just stayed at home.
Oh,
And that
wow.
is very rare because most of the time I'm outside from like 7 a.m. all the way until 8 p.m.
Yeah.
But yesterday I just like had to clear my calendar and then I just stayed at home the entire day and I was so happy.
And what do you do just being at home the whole day?
No, I was just like, okay, do very normal things. I did chores, I did laundry, I
see.
did I watched TV, I talked on FaceTime. Yeah, but just being at home.
Okay, okay. I mean, you said something quite interesting earlier about doom scrolling on TikTok. Lah. How important is social media to you personally?
I think it is important to me.
Okay.
It's important to be connected to the world and to see what's going on. But at the same time, it doesn't consume my life.
Doesn't
yeah,
consume,
I
okay.
can go about an entire day or like 2 days without looking at social media if I'm busy.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And Josh, for you, like social media, how important is it for you?
Social media is quite important. I use social media in terms of getting the latest news, then able to talk about the latest news
Yeah.
to people as a conversation
Okay.
and stuff, and also get updating my own Facebook is also important so that people
I still
know
use Facebook.
that both lah. Both. I kind of use more of LinkedIn to
LinkedIn.
kind of share the
So
latest
professional.
updates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we do. This is how I think we kind of raise awareness through professional ways where people
Yeah.
they kind of get to know us.
So in terms of social media, there's definitely a need to use it to connect to people outside. But there's a lot of young people who are on social media, very connected, hundreds, thousands of followers, but they say they still feel very alone. Why do you think so many young people feel so alone today?
I think it's something that they're always trying to get content out of it, finding contents, but yet it's like giving out, but not receiving enough input. That is how I feel like. It's like it's life more than likes and comments. Are they your true friends?
I see.
So
And
that
did
was
you-
something that I was like kind of pondering about.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally feel sometimes, right, I've had phases where I post a bit more and sometimes where I don't post as much.
Okay.
I find that it's the times when I don't post as much, I am less lonely. I am more connected in the real world than trying to. I mean, posting is important because at the end of the day, we want to try to use it as an avenue to also, connect with the people outside because
Yeah.
you can't be friends with everybody. But I think taking care of your own mental health is very important, and in everything you do, and you kind of need to look after that first before everything else comes in.
Got it.
Yeah.
got
So
it.
really put that as priority. And how do you feel less lonely, right? I think it's also putting yourself out there, giving yourself opportunities to meet people. Sure, not everybody wants to be my friend, not everybody wants to be your friend, but also leave a lot of room for rejection and try and error.
So I mean, for you, you're saying that it's just being out there
Yeah, just
and putting yourself out there.
meeting friends, going out, finding people that you click with.
I see,
Yeah.
I see. So I mean, you did make a reference earlier to Pin Xiu of 10 years ago wouldn't say things like that. What's one piece of advice if you could go back in time 10 years ago, 15 years ago, depending? Like, what's one piece of advice you would give to a younger version of yourself in terms of facing the challenges of adulthood and all?
One of the pieces of advice I would give myself, right, would be to start. Okay, in business terms, we say networking, but in normal day-to-day life, it's really just making friends, making connections. I guess growing up with a disability, I was very, very shy.
Okay.
Especially in primary school, I didn't have friends. Secondary school was okay already. But a lot of people, when they ask me, so what were you like when as a kid? Then I say I'm very quiet, very shy. Then everybody would laugh because I am not like that today. But my advice to my younger self would be to just talk to people and get to know them, have friends. And I feel that life would be completely different and a lot more joyful.
Okay, so it's really about building those connections and also not expecting something immediately in return.
Correct.
Right?
In life we face a lot of rejections, and I think it's part and parcel of it. So just take it in its take it and move on and try again.
Got it. Okay. And for Josh, like, what advice would you give a young version of yourself?
I think it's a lot of times is follow where your heart leads you, and there are many noises in this world, but yet there's this one passion that is ignite in your heart, and also kind of be more focused of what you are passionate about, and pursue it, and let not the world kind of distract you by saying, hey, don't do this, this will not lead you to anywhere and stuff.
Got it. Okay. I mean, and you mentioned something about rejection. There's a lot of rejection that people feel in all quarters of life. But what is the kindest thing that someone has done for you in recent times that you remember?
Oh, even today, when we arrived here, it was raining, and the I couldn't find a drop off point that had like a shelter. So the taxi driver, the Grab driver, was really very nice. He made sure that he was in the rain. He took out my wheelchair and then he helped me. He took an umbrella. He made sure that he tried to make sure as much as possible that I stayed dry. And I thought that was really very nice on its own already.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I think honestly, we Singaporeans are very nice people. Yeah. It's about whether you witness and act or not. Yeah.
I see. I see. And Josh, for you, like, what's the kindest thing someone has done for you recently?
I think it was last night. I think after I had a event shoot, then after the event shoot, it was after 3 hours, and I came down from the event place, and a friend of mine offered me a drink,
Okay.
and that was something
Oh,
very. It's just a fuse water, yeah,
Okay.
which is
Nothing too crazy.
I kind of realized that fuse water at this point in time it's very refreshing, because it's after all the hustle and bustles of the work that is done, then finally you can catch a breath and someone offer you a drink is something very encouraging.
I see. Okay. So, I mean, it does sound like
Wait, what's the kindest thing someone did to you?
the kindest thing someone did for me
Did for you recently?
recently. I think in terms of, for me, it's like someone being very nice to my kid, like, going out of their way to teach my kid or talk to them very gently. Because I think in Singapore, it's always so stressful, people shouting at you
Yeah.
to get into the MRT faster or drive faster. But to stop and take time to speak kindly or slowly to my kid, I find that to be very valuable, because it makes it less
is.
stressful for me as a parent as well,
True,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the very common thing is about people being kind to one another. That really makes a big difference. And I mean, just also on that same vein, right? Do you find that Singapore society has gotten kinder over the last decade or so? Or like, do we still have a way to go? Or what do you think about that?
I think I think we have taken baby steps to be kinder. Okay, it's very different. I think last time there used to be more of a kampong spirit. Now there are like really kind individuals also, but there are also like a group of people that are not very kind.
Ah, okay.
So another example, taxi drivers. I don't think that many taxis. It's just that I have a lot of positive and also negative experiences with taxis.
Okay.
And it could be somebody asking me, why am I traveling alone? Like, why is nobody here helping me? Because they themselves the one that help with the chair also.
Oh, I see.
Or it could be in a food court and then the lady didn't want to help me take the plate from here to like the table which is right beside the store. So there are still people that are not very gracious, but there are also a lot of people that are.
Okay, okay. And Josh, how do you feel about society as a whole getting kinder?
I think if you ask me 10 years ago, it's different. But now I think we have improved in many ways. And also, I think that's also talking about um, transport wise. I encounter I encounter a Grab driver that kind of told me that I'm below a certain height that I need a a booster seat. Then I asked her, I said, booster seat, do you know what's the requirement of the booster seat?
Yeah.
Because she was just looking at the height of it. And she doesn't understand the mechanism of why do we need a booster seat? Why do kids need booster seat? So I kind of explained to her, hey, the reason why people need a booster seat is because they are below the window, the height of the window. But when we sit down, we are actually as like normal people. We are way above the window.
Yeah.
And if TP won't be able to the LTA won't be able to identify us as someone who is of a shorter height. Because for us, it's like we only have shorter limbs, but in terms of our body structure is still the same. So I have to kind of keep on 3, 4 times explaining to her, and she's just insisting that she's at the right way, lah, yeah, kind of thing.
So in terms of talking to young people as well, right? Like, what's one piece of advice you have for a young person who's just about to enter the workforce? In this age, it's a hyper competitive world with AI and all these challenges coming up. What's your one piece of advice for these young people?
I think I can start with that. In terms of when I was younger, I always tell myself, I said, being a person with disability, I always tend to kind of say that I'm lousier than people. But as I grow older, when I found my passion in photography, I kind of tell myself, I said, that if this is the thing that, this is a passion that's out of my heart, comes from my heart, then it's something that I will pursue it no matter what people will say. That people, the noises of the world can say like, you're so short, how do you take photos? And so I kind of use these challenges to kind of debunk certain of the myths and of what people tend to perceive, and also encourage the younger generation now to kind of say that we may have many dreams and aspirations. I think at the end of the day, and the pressures of the world, like pursuing a degree in business, finance, or whatever you may be. At the end of the day, is what your heart tells you to do. What if you are good at numbers, you can go and do it. Do it. You're good in arts, yeah, go and pursue it. It's not something that your parents have to tell you. Your parents tell you to take law, and then you pursue it, that kind of thing. Yeah,
So it's really about plunging yourself into passion when you found it.
yeah.
Okay, okay. And Pin Xiu, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to a young person starting on the workforce today?
Try really hard to find something that you will be good at and something that you enjoy. I think sometimes it really depends on when you go out in the workforce, right? Like, is it difficult to find a job now? If because I've met a couple of people that have been finding a bit hard to find a job in the recent years, and sometimes I think it's important that these people have friends or peers or seniors that they can talk to share their experiences so that they know that what is the true possibilities of what they can actually do. You know, you need to be able to see representation. You need to be able to see role models of people in a certain industry before you know what you can do. So two things, try hard to find something you love, and at the same time talk to people so that you know where you can set your sights and work towards them.
I think to add on to that is that I think one encouragement I always give people is that don't underestimate who you are, because some of the world what the world says. But I think if your passion is there, just do it. Just you have to just do it, and not just giving excuses and just waiting on it to make things happen. Yeah,
But I think I also recognize that we are very privileged to have found a passion.
correct.
A lot of people go through life without a passion, and then those people just never mind. As long as you love your life, you earn a lot of money, you get to do whatever you want. Maybe your passion is not work, but your passion is something outside of it, like traveling and things like that.
Yeah.
That you might not necessarily make work, but make it as work. But as long as it works for you, as long as you are satisfied doing what you do, then you go, girl. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot for people to take from what we've discussed, and thank you both for being role models to your communities as well as to people who maybe have never even heard of you before, right? I mean, I've learned a lot from talking to the two of you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Pin Xiu.
Thank you.
And
you.
thank you for listening to this. If you like what you listen to, please leave a comment and follow the Purple Parade. All right. Thank you. Bye.